Hey, all, we are back and better than ever. Hoping you had a fantastic weekend. Trenton, I know you're thrilled that we have wild turkey on the bar top, as all the folks can see out there. This is not Trenton's idea for the video today.
We gave it away.
Well, not too many of your ideas include wild turkey. I'm not sure why that is.
Mid.
Well, you had to pay out $50, didn't you?
I did.
For that blind.
I'll say this. Dan H. Was the first one to email me. You looking at my hair? I do have a haircut coming this Wednesday. Don't worry, it's fine.
Where's your mom when you need her?
I know, right? Dan did email me first. I did send him $50 on Venmo. He did send the $50 back and said to put it towards the charity. So we got another $50 towards the Riley's charity.
Dan.
So thank you, Dan.
Very nice of you.
Very nice of you. Very nice of you. I think I learned my lesson to never try and guess wild turkey, but I'm just kind of surprised that it was stag. Instead of what was
you
the
are
stag?
I will say this, you are pretty good about picking up Buffalo Trace, so I am a little surprised that you crossed that over with wild turkey.
My palate's been weird lately, and not like
After
like
your
the
sickness?
normal. Yeah, not like the normal weird, but I'm still not picking up certain things. But I can tell you're excited because you erupted when the video first started, and I really don't know what we're doing.
All right, well, if you guys follow the channel much at all, you have seen Wild Turkey 101 fail miserably in a couple of blinds, and that has got me just perplexed, especially in the last blind because I was calling it crafty, and it just wasn't good.
That was weird, and I think is that the one that I curated the blind where it was all turkey.
It was all turkey, absolutely.
So we're going on a fishing expedition here to see if like what's wrong with the turkey, but turkey's actually very mid, so that's just kind of
no. There's something wrong because this is my bottle. This is the bottle I've had for a little while, and not a long while, maybe 6 months, 8 months. I don't know, something less than a year. Let's put it that way. This is the bottle that's been in those couple of blinds. The previous Wild Turkey 101 that I owned here had the old label on it, and that one was never, it never reigned supreme as number one, but it did fairly well in certain blinds. I have to feel there's something wrong with this bottle. I'm praying that something is wrong with this bottle. Many comments that we had in that blind said, buy yourself another Wild Turkey 101 and get over it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so I did. I bought another bottle. Honest to goodness, with the hand on my heart, Trent and I, we just opened that bottle. We just took the wrapping off and we just poured it. I haven't tasted it.
I think it comes as no surprise to say that I have also not tasted it.
Yeah, so we have to do it. That's all. This one's for me, buddy. So I have got to get this off my mind.
It'd be interesting, too, because there's been a couple bottles that we've had over the years that have done really well in blinds, like Old Forester 1920 used to. That won the Bourbon Madness, I think the first one that we ever did.
Yes.
And that has been just getting destroyed in blinds recently.
You're 100% right.
And I don't know... Do you have one still? Doing something similar would be interesting, because I feel like that's happened before with Woodford Double Oak. I feel like that's happened with the 1910, the 1920, and a couple other stalwarts, as you would say, that are hey, we would highly recommend these to be in your bar for.
What was the other one that I had? Was it the Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond that I kept saying was really bad, and people were saying no, something's wrong with your bottle. I can't. It was something like that. There was another one.
I don't know.
A while ago.
I don't know.
But we've had a handful, as Trenton mentioned, that just hasn't shown up per normal.
Yeah.
And, since it's wild turkey, I got to figure this one out. I got to
down.
figure it out, dude.
I'm down.
My brain is weary thinking about this.
So I'd imagine the one on the right is the crafty one.
I'm going to leave it up to you which one you want to taste first, because this one is the old one. The one I feel is crafty, oaky. This is the new one, and I'm praying is better.
I don't know, because I don't know when I taste Wild Turkey 101, which is hardly ever, I don't know of a baseline.
Well, let's start with the old one.
Okay.
Let's just start there, I guess. I'm a bit nervous actually to get to the new one, so we'll start to the old one first.
I think in the blind that I did, or that I curated or whatever 2 weeks ago, your order was the exact order I thought it was going to be. Only, I think I put 101 first. And you didn't guess at any point during that it was a turkey blind. So I'm wondering if this threw you off a little bit.
Probably
at first.
Probably did. Although wild turkey doesn't rank high on your list, and that's understandable. there's people out there that, Wild Turkey isn't their, isn't one top 3.
Yeah.
Distilleries, but for a lot of folks, it's up high. But you have a good enough palate, and we've done this long enough that you'll pick up on what's not as good and what hopefully is better.
I don't think okay, I've said this before. Four Roses and Wild Turkey are like my least
right.
interesting distilleries, I guess. I don't really drink a ton of stuff from them very often.
Right.
But if I've been fortunate enough to try like some of the Dusty Turkey stuff, that stuff's incredible. Yeah. I would drink that every day if I could.
Well, I do think Rare Breed has proven itself that it may not be one of your top 5 of all time, but I think it has to have proven itself in blinds for you that at least it's something you can say is pretty good.
Rare Breed's eye.
There you go. Well, at least we got that out of them. Come on now. I really can't pick it up on the nose. Kind of just get a lot of char on the nose. That's why I knew he was going to do that. He always goes with everything on the nose first. Different? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it?
Interesting. This honestly gives me like some Jim Beam type of an earthy or
no doubt. It's very
nutty.
earthy and it's char, earthy. Absolutely.
So we did the video about the Russell's 10 of like the LLME or whatever.
I think so.
I don't know much about it. I'm hoping David Jennings kind of chimes in because he would definitely know this.
Well, if he sees a Wild Turkey thumbnail, he probably will.
Because this is LLLJ.
The old one?
The old one.
Okay.
And the new one, we did see this is LLME. So I don't know if...
Are you sure that's what it is, bud?
It's like LL / or dash LJ.
Okay.
Is 270.
You can read it. I'm sure I can't. Okay. Fair enough.
So I don't know if the laser codes are like unique or what those actually stand for.
They do. There's definitely they definitely have meaning.
Okay.
Definitely have meaning to them. All right, brother. I'm just gonna take a sip, much as I don't want to.
Is it that bad that you actually don't want to?
It's just not good.
See, it's not turkey, but I don't think it's terrible. It is crafty, though.
It is. It comes over crafty for me. Now, in my mind, when I'm thinking that I want to take a sip of Wild Turkey 101 and I'm tasting something that I feel is an inferior product, that's when I get the connotation that's bad. And Trenton's right. It's really not awful. It's just not my expectation.
I'm getting this like weird watermelon thing.
Watermelon?
Like if you let a Sour Patch Kid like sit out on a dugout bench or something in the hot sun, I do get some like sour watermelon, and then it just goes like this really crafty cardboard. What?
All of my memories of Trenton playing Little Leagues came to my mind.
Do we have any VHS tapes of me playing baseball?
You guys.
I'm surprised I didn't go D1, honestly.
If you know how Trenton's mind works, he's very, I don't know, I don't want to get rude, but very ADD.
Oh, I mean, I take medication.
Trenton needs to have something happening like this to keep his attention. And as you all know with baseball, when you're playing outfield, which is usually where he was at, you don't get balls hitting to you all the time. And he was the stuff he would do on the outfield, the very best one. And that's what I thought of when I was taking that sip and I almost choked was all of a sudden your mom and I looked out there and you had your protective cup flipping it in the air and catching it. Remember that one?
I was bored. I mean, I'm in second grade. There's not many kids going to the fence, swinging for the fence in second grade. So I'm just sitting, what am I supposed to do? I'm baking in the sun.
It's usually his glove that was getting he was getting air or two. He was getting height. It was like 10,
no, I was getting off of the ground.
It was like, so we looked up one time, and who made you wear a protective cup in second grade is what I want to know.
Jim West and Jimmy Milligan's dad. Jimmy Milligan's dad was a D-bag. I hope he's watching. He was not nice to me.
But you never were into the game.
I know.
It was hilarious. Anyways,
how did we get on that?
Because...
Oh, the tasting note.
Watermelon. So I could see him leaving actual watermelon Sour Patch candies on a
I used to eat a lot of the candy out of the dirt in baseball.
Dugout bench.
No, I really don't think it's not turkey.
Yeah.
From what I think turkey is, but it's just it's different.
Yeah, I know, dude. It's not awful. Like I said, it's got a lot of craftiness to it, a lot of earthy notes, and I think that was a good connotation there with the Jim Beam.
Oh.
With the Jim Beam too.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, the Jim Beam type, what I get quite a bit.
But is this a drain pour though?
You can save it in cocktails and things like that for sure. But it's not something I'd really want to sip on its own, and that's unfortunate. It really saddens.
I'm kind of with you.
Saddens me.
If you had like an old fashioned or something that was like kind of up there in the sweetener and the simple, so that could drown that out pretty good. But
oh yeah, you can put in sours and all kinds of stuff.
Ooh, sure, like a whiskey sour.
It's good. Okay, I'm just saying, please.
Please. Oh.
Well, the nose is different. That's for sure. The aromas are actually a little less forward than this one. It's a little bit more, it's subtle, a little more subtle on the nose, but a little more sweet, a little more caramel forward.
I get quite a bit of marker on this.
Oh, dear God.
I do. I seriously do.
Killing me, dude. Whose idea was this?
It is a little bit sweet, but there's also like a little bit of like an expo marker in there or something. Like maybe it's the ethanol that comes off of that. Is there alcohol?
But it's fresh.
Yeah.
Too. We just opened it, so there could be a little bit of ethanol coming out of the nose on that for you.
I can't tell if this is actually turkey and I don't like it because it's turkey, or if there's something weird with it too.
It's pretty close to the same.
Really?
I'm pretty sad. And I don't know. I'm again. I'll say it in my world, anyways, and I'm sure in a lot of people's world. David Jennings of Rare Bird 101 is the source I look to if I want any kind of insight, knowledge, or just knowledge in general of wild turkey products. I am not that guy. I just enjoy wild turkey products immensely. The problem that I am having is all my memories were with the older label. Okay, not this, and I don't want to get this started. I do not want to get this started.
Yeah.
The old label, new label, is it different? Whatever. But I'll promise you this. When I had the old label, even some folks out there on the channel, when we had it out there, he said, "Why'd you got the old label?" The new, but I bought 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
Trenton, and so I had backup of the 101 in the older label. In that, it just doesn't taste like this. To me, maybe it's just because I'm 60 years old. My memory is not what it should be either. But I don't see it.
I do get still some marker on like the very tail end of the palate. It's like it could be that, but it's also not. Like the viscosity's nice. The viscosity is of what I remember of like a wild turkey 101.
Yeah. Now to try to bring it around for everybody, for me, as far as where I'm coming from here in my particular palate. This seems as somewhat of this here, where it's somewhat crafty and a lot of oak in there. Is there a ton of oak in there for you? It's just like a lot.
It's a lot of oak and a lot of
oak,
marker,
man.
And I get really no sweetness. I get no
Not much. And I remember my memory of the old label 101. The oak was more prevalent for me in the 101 than it was in the 10-year or the rare breed, and on down we go. However, it was fairly well balanced with the sweetness that was in there too, with the caramel sweetness in the 101 for me. I don't get hardly any sweetness out of either of these 2 bottles. Do you?
I get more sweetness out of this one, but
it's
not like, it's not front and center. It's really muted. Mm-hmm. This one I don't get any. It just kind of tastes like you left an Amazon box outside for a while and then tried to eat it. This one is like a little bit of a caramely thing, but I get a lot of oak and I get a lot of marker, and that's about it. Well,
I don't want to stir up a hornet's nest on this subject. I really don't. And not that a lot of people really care what I have to think about it anyway.
But that's the thing. It's like when, like, if you're scared to raise your hand in class, there's a good chance that a lot of other people might have that same question. Like, really, though, like, maybe some people are drinking 101 and they're like, oh, hey, maybe my bottle's bad, or like, something's weird about this, but I'm going to drink it anyways. Or they're not mad about it because it's a $20 bottle.
I'm still frustrated. I was really hoping that something happened to this bottle. Was it a bad cork? You know, it's down in the basement, so it wasn't left in the sun or anything like that. Yeah. But, you know, maybe something happened with the bottle. You know, it's a possibility. And I really thought, I swear to you, Trenton, all my life, I really thought this video was going to go, whoa, hey, look at here. This is great.
Now it just raises more questions.
It did not go the way I expected it to go. I would truly appreciate any comments that you have or any direction that you have or any thoughts that you might have. And if you say I'm nuts and things change and you're just not tasting proper, I can handle that. It's not a big deal. I don't mind any of that. But I am just not. Okay, just to put everything, to wrap it up with this. You know how we used to do our pretty, quite a while ago, our 5 favorite budget bourbons. Wild Turkey, I want to be in there. The Old Forester 100. Yeah. The old Granddad bottle.
Early time.
Yeah. This would be last. I didn't even know if this would make it in that list for me now. I'm just devastated to say that. But if I'm truthful, and if I'm truthful with everybody out there, which I will always be, I will promise you back here I could pick 5 that's better than that.
Yeah.
For similar price points.
You're talking about this newer one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Either one.
Well, that would be too tough.
Yeah, but
maybe
even this
might be better than that one.
You know what I'm saying, though. Even this one. So.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Well, again, real quick before we wrap things up here. Yep. This is the newer one. Is LLME 2024-05 something.
Okay.
And this other one here is LLLJ 2023-1027. So if anybody has something similar to those, I left out a couple numbers. I don't know if those matter. But if you have a similar one of these, the LLME and the LLLJ, and you found some like weird inconsistencies apart from like the normal Wild Turkey profile, please leave a comment. I'm very curious. I also have, I think it was like when they switched labels. I think I still have an unopened one.
You have got to be kidding me.
I was going through
You have an old label?
I don't know. I have like the first batch of the new label.
Okay.
I might have an old label. I do have an old label from 2008.
Wow. Yeah. And again, now I really thought this was going to go differently, but now my mind's thinking I really want to find an old label somewhere.
Well, this might not be the last you see of this bottle up here in the coming weeks. As we, if you have some older label turkey stuff, not like 80s, 90s or anything, just like a couple years ago. Yeah. Let us know. We might have to see about getting one to do a little bit of a comparison because this is very.
Well, this is a little depressing for a Monday video, so I apologize for that. So.
Well, it's Monday. Monday's sucking.
Well, there you go. I'm glad we did it on Monday then.
Exactly.
How about that?
It can only get better.
Wednesday's going to be a better video. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Should we sneak peek what we're doing?
You can, yeah.
We do have an idea, which is rare to have 3 days before we actually film.
Yeah.
Kurt's got 3 bottles, and I've got 3 bottles that both of us have never tasted. His 3 I've never tasted. The 3 that I have, he's never tasted. Mm-hmm. We're going to. What are we going to do again?
It's like dark horses, is what I consider it to be. Like in any term, I feel. I just now whether they do or not, I'm not sure, but I have a feeling, and I think they could vie for one of the top 5 spots in best of the year. Now we have to go through
I haven't tasted?
Yes.
If you holding out?
Yeah. Well,
dang.
Now I will say that we have a tasting panel, as you all know. It's not just Trent and I figuring out what's the top 5. We have several people involved. I'm just saying it has a chance.
Okay.
These 3.
All right.
So I'm going to give those 3 to him blind. He's going to have his choices for me blind, and I'm going to see what you think because I don't want the label to dissuade you of your opinion.
That's fair.
And I'm okay with it too. If you thought you thought this might be the top 5, really?
I'll be interested. I'll be interested.
Yeah, we'll see.
Stay tuned for Wednesday. It's going to be a lot more fun.
Yeah. A lot more fun. Could be some good discussion. Could be some a little bit of battling going up here too. You never know.
Stay tuned.
All right, guys. That's all we got for you today. As always, we ask you to please drink responsibly. We'll see you next time right down here with Trent and me in the good old basement bourbon bar. See you later.